Hi, this is Miranda. I wanted to talk about my eBay store, Electrodills, that I've been running for about 3 years. I've been running it since July of 2020, and the tricks that I've picked up along the way to help save some money on shipping supplies, in addition to discuss some of the things like the label printer that I chose to buy to run my business. So let's get started. Let me just share my screen over here. Okay, so I'm using Zoom, which is quite easy. It's a free You're probably familiar. It's a free application where you can just start a meeting and then I can record the meeting and share my screen. Nice and easy to get it up and going to share this information with you. Okay, so let's get going. So first, I wanted to talk about the printer that I personally chose for my business. So I really love the Zebra printers. And so there's various different models. So based on your preference, you can choose, I believe there is Bluetooth connection, wired connection. It goes on the array as Zebra's a very established company, has been around. So choose what you prefer. For me, I chose the Zebra GX430D printer, and I chose that because it has the highest resolution, the 300 DPI dots per inch, I believe square inch or something along those lines, whatever the abbreviation stands for. But in general, it just means more pixels, better resolution. For me, bit of a perfectionist, I like my labels to be very clear, but my father, he has, I believe, a 450 Zebra and a 500, and those are a 203 DPI, and he's had no issues. He's been doing eBay for at least 20 years with zero issues on UPS, USPS, and FedEx in scanning the labels and having them be readable. So really the additional resolution isn't necessary. I just prefer it. So going on from that, so we've got the Zebra over here, and I can discuss setting it up, things like that. If I get in the chat, hey, I bought it. Can you show me how to get the software up and going? Show me how to print a test page, etc. So on. But right now, this is just going into the very brief what I have personally going supply-wise and printer-wise for my business. So I've had this printer. I bought two of them on eBay back in 2020. And I've been using the same one for 3 years, and it's been running nice and solid without any issues. And Zebra's a very commercial brand. If you're familiar, USPS and FedEx both use it in addition. And so that's why I chose Zebra, just because it's a very strong commercial brand and it will just keep on going. Like I said, my dad, he's been using the same printers for 20 plus years without failure. So that was my reason, because you will see on Amazon that there are all sorts of different, off-brand printers and things like that. But if you read in the reviews, eventually they're failing and their resolution decays or they fell or problems happen. And so I just wasn't really interested in that. I went and invested a little bit more in something that big main brands, shipping companies, USPS, FedEx are using all the time, as well as my father's been using without failure. So going on, you can go on eBay and you can just search Zebra if you want to. For me in particular, I searched for the printer I had just so that I can show it. And you would go in, you would find someone, you can click right on this listing right over here. And when you click on it, you can see sell refurbished. And one thing that I do when I'm looking to buy on eBay is I'm looking for someone who has a very established feedback, because there are people on eBay that may not know exactly what they're doing, or they may be trying to pawn off, items that have issues. And so I'm looking for somebody that has a lot of reviews in addition to good feedback, to be sure that I'm going to get the item that I ordered, I'm going to get the item in the condition that it states it is, and things like that, just to reduce problems. In addition, when you see people who have sold a substantial amount, that gives you concrete security. Okay, they know what they're doing. I don't have to worry about the quality. I don't have to worry about getting the wrong thing sent to me, things like that, etc. So on. Just things I look for when buying things. Instead of, oh, the item is $10 cheaper, that this person has no feedback, there's usually a reason why. You want to be more careful on those, because you can face problems having to go through a return and things like that, and adding more time and effort than need be. But again, it's all up to you what you want to do. You can always risk it with a seller that is less established, as eBay does have a lot of protections put in place. So there is no concern on that. Okay, so what I did is I bought two printers. I bought them from an established person back in 2020. They had about 30,000 plus feedback, 100 feedback, worked very well. They were very reasonable in getting the item, and everything worked as expected. And also what I would highly encourage you to do too, which I did, is I went down here and I bought an all-state warranty, because I did have an issue with the printer, the first one that I've been running for 3 years, is there was something wrong with the ribbon, needed to be replaced, I think 6-8 months into me using it, where I was printing a little bit of a black line on part of my labels. And so I sent it into Allstate and I got a free repair, no issues. And it came back and I haven't had any issues since. And so I would highly encourage whenever you're buying something used or refurbished, especially if you're going to use it very frequently or it is a large sum of money, put the extra down for a warranty. As again, it worked for me. I didn't have to buy a new printer. I didn't have to spend another $200 on a printer. All I did was send it into Allstate, ship it. They shipped it back to me repaired, and I've been using it 2 years since then. Okay, going on. So that is first the printer I bought, why I would recommend a Zebra, in addition to why I would recommend a warranty. So now let me see over here. And again, as you can see, let me scroll up to the top of this page. So you can also buy brand new if you prefer new, the Zebra 450. And again, as you can see, I mean, I would be more wary of the 608 feedback, but a lot of people do that because, and why it's going to be less price, because he's trying to get his, they'll usually buy a lot of things and then put them a little bit lower in the market to try and get their feedback up to establish their eBay account. And so the fact they've sold 278 and have 100 feedback, I wouldn't do terribly too concerned purchasing this one. And then again, new, if you want new, you can buy new, you can eBay, you can filter, you can do new, you can do used, you can do seller refurbished, etc. You can do filtering the condition when you go to search for whatever printer that you prefer. And all I wanted to do was point out over here, again, that 203, like I said, the printer that I use, the model particularly, has just a higher DPI, but again, it's not necessary. And so just go with what you prefer, whatever features, and you can also look up the features online of the different Zebra printers and then find the model that you prefer. I would again just highly encourage you, and again you see here, this is a 3-year protection plan instead of 1. I would highly encourage you just to make sure you get a warranty in addition. Shop around because different sellers have different abilities. Since this is new, eBay is allowing them to offer a greater protection plan. So if you prefer 3-year warranty plan, if you prefer a 1-year warranty plan, whatever you prefer, just look around and find what fits your price budget, fits your warranty budget, etc. so on. And then also some sellers will allow returns too, which is nice if you're not happy with the product. If you have preference for that. Again, all of that just filtered in when you're looking to purchase your printer. Okay, so now we're going to go into me discussing why I do a basic store with eBay instead of doing the standard subscription, which I believe is like $7, $8 a month. So I switched over to a basic store because eBay has a greater breakdown on the fees. I used to be paying 12% for every single category pretty much that I sold. And so if I sold something for $100, eBay was taking $12 out of that, plus in addition, if I promote the listing, whatever they're taking out fee-wise there, and then shipping. And so what ended up happening is I was reading the boards. There are a lot of boards on Reddit and other places where people discuss eBay and then the benefits and the things you can do to help save more money. And so although I'm paying more a month, what ends up happening is now my fees, I believe, are like 6 to 7%, and some of them are 8%, but mainly I'm paying 6 to, just say I'm paying 6 to 8% on pretty much all my listings. And so I'm saving, if you want to say average it out to 7%, before I was paying 12%, I'm saving 5% on all my listings. And when you add in that number based on the amount of sales I make, it makes more sense. I save more money by paying eBay a higher upfront fee because, again, you can do the math, right? 5% does add up when you say you're selling $100,000 a year, right? It can add up. So back getting into that. So that's one of the reasons why I choose a basic store, but why I'm bringing this up is in addition, eBay gives you a subscription discount where they give you $25 off for every quarter, 4 quarters in the year, to go in and buy eBay shipping supplies. And so that was one of the things I wanted to show you. And so what I do every single year, well, I guess every quarter more accurately, is I'm going in and using this $25 coupon that eBay has given me to purchase some shipping supplies. And so I can go into the store and I can show you. So over here, eBay shipping supplies. And so they have everything. If you want to make your packaging look, I would say more professional in the sense you're selling on eBay. But if you want to put wrapping, they've got thank you notes, they've got boxes. I mean, the list goes on. They've got pretty much anything that you can purchase. There's always something that I found that I can use my $25 coupon for. In addition, my dad also has, an eBay account. He doesn't really use his $25 coupon, and so I'll ask him to buy me supplies too. So it ends up benefiting both of us there, where we get some significantly discount shipping supplies. cheaper than you would get them other places, and they're branded for eBay, so it looks a bit more professional. And they also do have tape too. If you want to see, they've got different colored tape, and they've also got water activated tape over here and as well, if you whichever you would prefer. I actually have, and getting in weekend again, I can go into every topic later if there's a preference which way. I have a water activated tape machine that I got from Uline, which I prefer just because environmentally friendly. In addition to, it does, I would say, probably cost about the same as using standard acrylic tapes when you weigh out, but it is, in my opinion, easier and it looks more professional. Just trying to follow, Amazon, things like that. It looks more professional when they're seeing it versus the acrylic tape on a box, and it averages out to the same. Maybe I pay a little bit more, but also environmentally friendly. And I can talk about that too, the Uline water activated tape machine I bought. If you're interested in that, we can get into details with that. But that's more of a expense. So I wouldn't encourage that when starting a business right away. I've been doing my business for 3 years, and then I purchased it because that was my preference. Okay. So now let's see what the next topic is. Okay, so the next topic I want to discuss, which my father actually didn't do this. He's been running eBay for over 20 years, and he just buys his supplies on Amazon, his shipping boxes, labels, well, not labels, but he buys his shipping boxes, his tape, etc. on Amazon. However, I mean, I've gone across the board. I've bought packaging material through eBay, I've bought it through Uline, I've bought it through Amazon, etc. So on, the list goes on. I've pretty much tried, and then I found what I particularly care for, and we can discuss. I'll discuss that a little bit more in the end of this video, the different places that I prefer now currently. But first, let's go in here. So my father didn't do this, so you can actually order free shipping supplies on USPS, and this is particular to, and I can go in more detail too later, showing you the breakdown when I go into an order, and I can show you the different costs, associated with the different shipping boxes. But for now, I'll just leave it briefly as this, where USPS has a lot of flat rate envelopes or flat rate boxes, if you're familiar with, where there's a small, goes on, but we'll say small box, then there's a medium box, and then there's a large box, and every single one of those boxes based on, I believe it's 75 pounds, but it says on the box too, you can put up to a certain amount of weight in it, and it's the same cost to ship the item, which saves a lot of money, because when you're shipping across the US or you're shipping to a more remote house, shipping can actually be quite a substantial difference, where I could be paying $15 for $14 to $15 for a medium box, a USPS medium box, or I could be paying like $20, $30 if I want to do just priority or USPS. Sorry, priority or just UPS or FedEx. And so that's why I'm saying, when having these particular flat rate boxes saves me money on shipping, because it's flat rate, since I'm not going to go over the $75 as long as it fits in the box. And so that has saved me some money on eBay by using flat rate boxes. In particular, one that I use is over here, the flat rate padded envelope. That's $8.30, fit whatever you can in, and it ships anywhere. It doesn't matter where you're shipping it from, where you're shipping it to, as long as it's in the United States. I don't ship internationally, so I can't offer much advice in that regard. But you fit it into this box, flat rate, padded, $8.30 on eBay. And so that helps save money when it is additionally more. And so I order those, like from USPS, I'll order about 100 at a time and just keep them in my apartment. And so again, it's free, as long as when you go in and you go to click order, I can actually go through this with you and show you. And so you would go over here, and I'm not logged in right now, but you would go in and you would say how many that you want, you add to cart, you go into the cart, and you'll put your address in, and it will say, expedited shipping, you have to pay. But if you want to do parcel ground select, where it's slow boat shipping, it's free at $0, and it ships to your address for free. And so you can go in there. And so I buy all the time, I use the flat rate padded envelopes for a lot of things. And then also, if you want free envelopes, but you want to pay priority rate, where it's variable depending on the size, weight, and location it's going to, I also use the priority mail Tweevik envelopes, so I don't have to purchase, as I was showing you on eBay, the poly envelopes, the mailer envelopes, I don't have to purchase those. I could just use this. This is free in addition. And so I'm not paying for the envelope itself when shipping. And again, it depends on what item you're shipping. Flat rate just means that it's a flat rate. Otherwise, like flat rate small box, things like that, or you'll just see when if it doesn't say flat rate on it, it's just a free box that you could put something in, but you do have to pay whatever the priority rate of that would be on eBay. And so I use, for medium boxes, I get both of these actually. I get the Priority Mail flat rate 1 and 2 because I'm able to fit things differently. I rarely use the large, so that depends on if you would, but I rarely use that, so I don't really get those. Okay, but I think that was about enough. And again, also there is Mail Express. I don't use that. It's very, very expensive. People don't really pay the extra for that, so I just ship either first class, Priority Mail, USPS, UPS, or FedEx. So I don't use the Express, so I don't order those. But again, going in, like I said, this is not a flat rate box where it says Priority Mail Box 7, but they have a lot of free boxes that you can get. You just have to pay for the variable of how much it would cost to ship your item Priority Mail. That's just to keep in mind, but this is all just free boxes that you can use instead of having to purchase shipping supplies. So it will help save you down on some cost. And all you would go down to is, and I'll share these links in the YouTube video above where I have here. I'll make it easier for you too. But you just go down and make sure you select, which I'll find here, free shipping supplies over there, because they do also sell things too on USPS. So just be conscious of the fact that you want to click free shipping supplies. Otherwise, you're going to see things that do cost money, like scales and other things they have. Okay, so that was for USPS. And this, so let's go on to now shipping supplies. Again, still shipping labels now. So that was USPS shipping supplies if you're shipping through Priority Mail, where you can get all sorts of free different sizes, box shapes, things like that. Be cognizant of the fact that you don't want to order like 100 of them. Maybe order that when they have like 5, 10, something like that, just so you can see the size and have them there. And then or keep ordering the boxes that you use the most of, instead of, don't make the mistake I made where in my house I had a whole big stack of boxes that I wasn't using. Just be cognizant of that. Order a little bit less because they are free. You can get more later. You order too many, you can always drop them off at USPS for free. Okay, so now going into, I order, and again, sorry, looks like got on the wrong page there, but I order shipping labels from UPS and from FedEx, and both of these are free. Surprise there. So you don't have to pay for shipping labels. So yes, you do have an upfront cost of buying the printer, right? If you're buying a Zebra versus buying one on Amazon, but the labels are free. And based on the model that you buy, be cognizant of the fact that you need to make sure that you buy labels that are compatible with that Zebra model. Good thing is that the labels on UPS and FedEx are free. And so if you get labels, they don't fit, well, the only thing they have is they have a restriction per account that you can only order a certain amount at a time. I think it's like every few months. And so just make another account if you get the wrong size labels, or you can call UPS. I've done that in the past. I'm like, hey, I ordered the wrong size labels. It doesn't fit my printer. Can you please send me another set? And I'll send the other, I'll drop the other labels off at the UPS store. So either works, but it's, as I said, just be cognizant of the fact that if I get particularly the model that I have, so I know the labels that fit my model, just make sure whatever Zebra printer you get, and I believe these are probably compatible with other things than Zebra printers, but you're going to have to check that because, again, I don't have that, so I wouldn't know. But so let's go in. Since I have right now open, I've got the FedEx one, since I clicked on the wrong create a shipping shipment versus getting shipping labels. So going into FedEx, and I will also attach this link in the YouTube video as it is a pain. I have bookmarked this link because it is a very much so a pain to find. I agonized over finding this to get the labels several times to the extent that I bookmarked it. And so again, over here, FedEx, you're shipping with FedEx. These are all free shipping supplies that you can buy through shipping through them. But the caveat being that whatever the shipping, container is, like Priority is Priority Mail, FedEx is FedEx, like you have to ship with whatever it says. Where this says FedEx Express, you have to ship FedEx Express then. You can't just use a container and ship it FedEx Ground. It doesn't work like that. The labels are free because they're considering the cost of the item and the, upgraded cost to ship it a better service with them. But free, assuming that you ship it the way that the containers are, so you don't have to pay for shipping supplies. And I mean, there's all sorts of things you can get over here, is what I'm getting at. Pretty much anything. So the thermal printer cleaning card, I get those to clean my thermal printer, which helps clean the ribbon when it gets dirty. And so now we're going over here And so now let me go to the very top, and then I can actually pinpoint what. So I get electronic shipping labels. So if it's going to update, let me just move this over. I'll just scroll down if it's not going to update. Labels. All right, so show all labels. All right, well, that. Shipping supplies, just give me a minute here. Okay. Let me click find shipping supplies. There we go. Okay, here we go. So now back over to here, you'll see they've got different zebra models, right? CP500, things like that, and they've got different part numbers. So I know the part number I get. And so, like I said, again, when ordering these, you just want to make sure, be cognizant of the fact of what your printer can fit. And in addition to that, so let me show you the ones that I get. So I'm going for, I believe it is, it's not 130 per roll. I believe it's this one right over here. But I don't like the dock caps. But so if you like the dock caps, it's like a little sticky on the bottom over here. If you see that you pull off in addition to the label itself. And so that if you want to mark what the order would be, right, when you're printing all these labels, and you can say, okay, this is for a candle, this is for what? I don't prefer the dock caps. And so I go for getting the one that is no dock top, no dock tabs. So just cognizant of that. That's what I prefer, but that's because I've ordered both in the past. They both fit on my printer. So going on from there, like I said, you can order, play around with it, see which one fits in your printer. You might have to call FedEx up and say, hey, I ordered the wrong shipping labels. Can you send me the right ones? Things like that. The other thing to be cognizant of too is that some of these, and my father's actually done this before, and again, so I'm looking at just pointing out here, Zebra 6x4. That's the ideal one that I use to print. You could do smaller labels if you want to, but just be cognizant as well of the size of your printer and what labels you're getting, because if you end up getting, you know, a 5-dimension, or you're going to get a 2x3, it's going to be substantially, or see like a 3-inch label. I'm just saying be cognizant of that when you're doing it as well. Because 3-inch labels are very small. I prefer the 6x4. So, and then going on into here, see if I can show you. Yes. So things like this, and I'm not looking in particular because their capacity, usually they have that filled in, but it's not at the moment, but this one is. There are also labels. My dad did this once where he ordered the correct labels, but he ordered 1,000 labels. And so 1,000 labels round up is not going to fit in your printer. I found that about, you know, like I said, the 425, after that, even that could be a little hard on the printer where it gets stuck and I have to unwind a little bit of those labels out, which is annoying. So make sure you do not make that mistake. First, pay attention to the dimensions, pay attention that it will work into your printer, it's compatible with your printer. In addition, pay attention to the capacity, how many labels are on a roll, because for the standard Zebra printers, you are not fitting more than, I would say, probably 400. 425 is probably okay, but you're really not fitting more than that. 1,900 is not going to work. You're going to end up sitting there rolling out the labels to try and put it on another roll to use it, which is very frustrating. But again, you order these, you click order, you do ship to your address, and all you need to do is create a FedEx account, and there you go, free shipping labels, either through FedEx. And now let's see if I could find this link over to UPS without having to sign in. Okay. Let's see. Okay, well, it's loading over here. And again, I'll share these links. So while I'm going in and waiting for this to load, so I can go into the discussion where I was saying the things that I do for my eBay. So for my eBay, I have the Zebra printer. I told you I get the free shipping labels as stated from UPS and USPS. Sorry, I get the free shipping labels from FedEx and UPS. Slightly different formatting, and so when you put them in, it can be a little annoying where the printer will print up a few pages blankly. on the first time you print a label because it's trying to get the format of the shipping label. And so sticking to one is more ideal because when you're going back and forth, UPS and FedEx, the labels are slightly formatted different. So printer has to format every time you change it. But I mean, free labels. That's how I take it in that regard. So it's not too much of a big deal there. So let's see if I can find it on this page, ordering supplies. And I don't have this bookmarked because UPS is not that difficult to find the ordering supplies. FedEx is almost impossible. That is why I have that bookmarked, and I have shared it with my dad several times because he cannot find it. Okay, so let me just stop sharing my screen for a minute while I log in. Okay, so let's go here and just give me a minute while I'm logging in. Just logging in over here. Okay, so now let me go back over here and share my screen again. Okay, so for me, I have no account selected, not really an issue. I just created an account with USPS. I've shipped with them before, things like that. So don't worry if it says no account, mine says no account. You can add an account, but it's never been an issue for me with ordering supplies, and so I never went to that effort. And so if you see here, order supplies, so now you can go pouches. I have those already, but labels and stickers. And then from there, so as you can see, like I said, they do quantity limits where I just ordered shipping supplies about a week ago. And so I'd have to call and ask specifically, but I think it's every few months I can get one roll. So it's not particularly a big deal. And you can see 320 labels. And so I just alternate between FedEx and UPS for getting for free. And of course, I could always, if I wanted to, make another UPS account or another FedEx account, and I can get more labels for free. But all you do is you add them to cart, you put in your address, they ship for free. UPS is pretty good in getting them, within a few days. And again, here I get, like I said, the 4x6 is what I prefer, and make sure it's thermal because Zebra is a thermal printer. And I believe there's non-thermal with Zebra too, maybe. Like I said, just look at your different model of the printer, see what it's capable with. Like there's as you want is the way that I would put it. Yep, so going back into, we can go over a brief of what I do buy for my supplies now that I've gone into. I've showed you the printer I bought, how to buy it, looking on eBay, things like that. I've showed you free shipping supplies through USPS. I've shown you free shipping labels through FedEx and UPS. And so aside from that, like I said, I have bought packaging material through Amazon, which is good. The poly mailers are very cheap on Amazon. So if you find someone, I can also pull it up. I'll stop sharing my screen and I could pull up the particular poly mailers that I purchased through Amazon. But honestly, I've been doing through eBay now just because they are cheaper. So it would make sense with my coupon just to go through and do eBay. But I used to buy poly mailers through Amazon. You can buy them. And the beauty with Amazon, if you have quality issues with the poly mailers, all you need to do is you can do a return if the quality is not good. Free returns, things like that. There's Amazon. You can buy, I think, like 100 for like $20, so it's like 20 cents a thing. I usually get the main size I get poly mailers is, I believe, 10 to 12 inch, and then there's like a 14 to 16 inch, and that's length width. And those are pretty good. I used to, in the past, go by, let me get every single possible size imaginable, right? Because you have all these different products and you want to minimize your costs associated with each item, so you'll get the size that fits the item appropriately. Now I go for more of the generic, what will fit the majority of my items that I'm trying to sell, because it saves more money having less shipping supplies. If I've got, a 14x16 and that fits almost all my inventory, and then I got the 10x12 in addition, right, that fits smaller things like that, that will save me more money. In addition to the poly mailers, the reason I'll do those where they're not bubbled with boxes is it saves in shipping costs, because dimensions cost, weight cost. Well, a box adds a lot of weight to your item. It could tip you over the scale from 2 pounds to 3 pounds, right? If you're right on the edge, like 1.8 is the 1.8 pounds is the weight of your item, and then you put it in a box, it's going to be over 2 pounds, and then you're going to the next shipping cost. It goes up. And so I use poly mailers to help save me some money in that regard because it keeps the weight down, and so then the shipping cost to ship it keeps down. So I get those mainly from eBay now. I get boxes from Uline, and I'm getting all sorts. And again, we can go into more details with this on the sizes of things I get. This is just more of an introduction. But so I'm getting my poly mailers from eBay. You can get them from Amazon. I'm getting my boxes from Uline, and I'm just cookie cutting. I get a few sizes 4x4x4, like 6x4x4, 8x4x4, and 9x9x4, and 10x10x6, and that's it. I would encourage, keeping more. Don't, oh, I need to get a box for every single product I'm selling. Try and find a more standardized size because it will take up less space for you and it will cost less money overall since you don't need to keep every individual size. Okay, I think that was probably more information than you want. And again, I can go into more details. This was just to be a brief introduction on how to save some hacks to save some money, and hopefully it was helpful. Okay.